video, we're going to cover the detailed capabilities of input devices. You'll note here that I have a microphone called Susan Vocals. I have something labeled with a hi-hat symbol and something labeled a kick drum symbol. Let's look inside and see what those really are. I'll touch the icon for the Susan Vocals microphone, and here we can see a description of what that device is. It's actually an Arria.Live dynamic microphone. The most common control that I'll use is this one here, which is its gain control. I'll use that to make sure that I'm getting good metering so that we have an optimal signal-to-noise ratio. I'm going to close that device right now, and let's go to the hi-hat device. Turns out that you can see here that that is actually a condenser microphone, an Arria.Live condenser microphone. And again, the gain control is here. That allows me to establish the gain for an optimal signal-to-noise ratio. Close that. Let's look at the kick drum. The kick drum is actually not a microphone in far as Arria is concerned. It's a direct in that has a kick drum microphone plugged into it. Now we can't tell what is plugged into the direct in, so we have to rely on the labeling and the icon that the operator has chosen to help us know that. But we do know that it's a direct in, and again we have a gain control to set things up for a proper signal-to-noise ratio. Let's look at some of the other capabilities we have, and these are common to all input devices. We have the color. This controls the color of the fader. So if I want to change that to, say, a blue color, I can just touch blue on the color wheel, and now the fader becomes blue. We also have an icon selection field. A set of icons are available to you, and you can pick the one that matches what you're using. I've chosen a kick drum for this because that's what I've got plugged into it as a kick drum mic. You can control whether or not phantom power is on or off. Usually you'll leave that off unless you know you have a microphone that needs it on. Arria condenser microphones do not need phantom power supply. They take care of it themselves, but if you're using a legacy microphone that requires phantom power, here's where you can turn it on or off. We also have the LED settings, which is here, that allows you to turn the LED illumination off, choose to have the illumination match the color of the fader, which is what I've got here. So the illuminations on that device will be blue. Or you can choose the logo color, which is just a standard Arria look. You can choose master sync, which is primarily kind of for debug purposes that allows us to understand how the devices are clocking together, not something that you would normally need to worry about. A very useful setting is called sparkle. If you're not sure which device a fader strip is controlling, just turn sparkle on, and you'll see a flashing illumination pattern on the device in question, and you'll know immediately which one it is. Finally, we have color change, which is kind of nice for a walk-in look where the illumination on the devices slowly rotate through the color wheel. It's kind of cool. Most places, though, when it's time for a performance, just turn the illumination off. And you can do that globally, so all devices go off from the global settings page. You don't have to go through and do that on each individual device. I'm going to put it back on a device for now. Now the other button down here, we have a lock device, and we have reset device and restart device. Restart just reboots the device but does not change any settings. Reset the device puts it back into its factory defaults if for some reason you needed to do that. Lock device is kind of interesting. Each Arria device has stored within it all of the parameters that we're going to be covering here. And if you get a microphone or an input device all set up just the way you want it and don't want it to be changed inadvertently, you can simply lock the device. And now the device is locked as shown by this red screen. And you can't change the settings without unlocking it first. If I hit the unlock button, I'm warned that you can unlock this, but make sure you know what you're doing, so you have to be purposeful about doing so. I'll go ahead and unlock it so we can show stuff. Let's go to the next tab over, which is the parametric equalization. Every input device has a set of 4 input filters that you can adjust independently, both in terms of where their center frequency is and what the Q factor or width of the filter is. In addition, there is a high shelf that can be enabled or disabled, and a low shelf that can be enabled and disabled, and a high shelf that can be enabled and disabled as you find a need to do so. So it's quite powerful. And again, this allows you to tune a device to make it sound optimal for the person or instrument that's using it. You can toggle EQ on and off to see what it sounds like with and without that. And of course, you can flatten things out if you want to start all over again. On the compression tab, we'll enable compression. Now you have the classical compression control capabilities of where the knees are and the slopes that you can adjust as you wish to. And you can put it back to standard mode, or you can put it back down to something however suits your purposes. Soft and hard knee are available to you also. So those are the input capabilities, and again, these parameters are stored actually on the device itself. So when you plug this device back into your network, it will remember all of those settings and go back to doing exactly what it was doing before.